So, why we're here today is because Canada actually has a pretty big issue. Canada needs better housing. It's just not, right now it's inefficient, it's unaffordable, and honestly, not very effective. I spent the last few years working on houses, working on building houses, from framing to renovations, and working in condos as well. And it's just, things aren't designed well, things aren't thought out well. They're just, at this point, just throwing them out there as fast as possible and not thinking about the actual person. And so we're gonna try to do something about that. So this is what it looks like right now. We got tons of suburbs, lots of roads. I don't know if you guys like this very much. I don't personally.
You can put the houses in between the trees.
Yes, and put the houses in between the trees, yes. Yeah.
So there is trees here, but this division is probably in the middle of nowhere, with very little access to anything that you would actually want or need.
No.
And
Probably built around a Costco.
And there may be a Costco 15 minutes away, maybe, if you're lucky.
Like
Probably not
everything's
too.
maybe like 15 to 20 minutes out.
Yeah, exactly. So they're built with traditional framing, as they talked about earlier. SIPs is an option instead of this. The main issue with this is not necessarily that it's not well designed. Traditional framing can work quite well. The problem is you have to have people there that are highly skilled and also willing to actually do it, right? And it's, from experience, not the easiest work.
I don't know one of those.
Yeah.
Scale people out.
And then people make mistakes, and then a lot of money can be lost from small little mistakes made by unskilled laborers who were thrown on a job. So, with these houses and this framing, this is what we have right now. And we can't blame this on the government, unfortunately. We can blame a little bit, maybe. But we can't blame all of it on the government, unfortunately. We can blame it on the way we design houses and the way we build them. So we have a plan here at Monk's Design. The plan is, first of all, what we're offering right now, which is tiny house there. We call it hone because we're honing in on what we think is the best way to build a house. And we're offering experiences. If you notice in the tiny house there, the space tells you what it is. I haven't hidden anything in there. You can see the boiler, you can see the reinforcement of the walls, you can see everything.
That skylight is to die for. Oh yeah, seriously, that thing's amazing.
It's interesting that you actually bring that up, is exposing the infrastructure of the house as being a design element. It kind of reminds me of like even how computer building has come from, you know, now everything is exposed and it's a designer element to see the interior, right? It'll be interesting to see whether that really takes off.
We'll talk a little more on that in a moment. So the
Can be really sexy.
the second part I call Soul, short form solutions. This part is about ADUs. This is about actually taking the communities that are doing it right, that aren't making suburbs, places like Toronto and small downtowns where they're actually doing it right. We add additional units, we add new homes to, as we were talking about Bill 108, I think it was, adding more units to the places that are most in demand, I think is the second most important aspect. Third aspect is actually building new communities, reinventing what a community is. So that can be like Toronto. There's many communities. I spent a lot of time recently in North York, and these are places that I feel are so much better. And so we want to go back to why are these places more desirable, and how do we bring that desirability to the new communities, like tiny home communities that we're building, Because we don't want to just make more suburbs with tiny homes. That's not what I want to do. And so that's why that is going to be down the line and not something we're doing right now. What are we offering right now? So, talking about the design of the tiny house inside. So we're bringing, with home, we're bringing it back down to the fundamentals. We are breaking down the home to its simplest state, and offering an honest experience that is just the basics, right? Just the basic, everything that needs to be in the home is there, nothing more. And we're offering that as an experience that you can enjoy in one of our homes by someone who's renting it. So we're selling them so people can rent them. We're gonna have some as well. We just got approved for funding to start our next build. So going with that, the other aspect that is fundamental to a home is actually the water and the power that you need, right? So we want our homes like they did back in the day, like our farmhouse here. Everything was there. You didn't need to get to a grid connection. Obviously, right now, people have a much higher expectation of what they need in their house than my grandparents or my ancestors,
Yeah.
my great-grandparents. But we think we can still do it. We think that that's still something that can be a thing, that you can have your own home, you can have the water, you can have the power, you can have it all without having to be connected to a grid. So you can have all the fundamentals without having to be connected to someone else. So we're offering tiny house at $140,000 and the off-grid package for $40,000. So we're looking to let you guys order them for your short-term rental. So our occupancy rate is about 75% and earns about $1,900 a month of net income. So as you can see, it kind of goes up and down, but generally around $3,000 in revenue that ends up after lease costs, utilities, supplies, and management. So we're going to offer all these services to help you set up your tiny house, to get a lease, to find a location, to get a lease. We offer our partners that have management services, and we're going to run all this for you.
That's smart. That's really smart. Yep.
So what is possible? This is a community. I don't know if that's the exact community of what you want, but it's an example. With our tiny home, or any of the tiny homes available here, we can start building new communities with an off-grid package or similar that allow you to build them basically anywhere without having to rely on power and water from town.